Good afternoon. My name is Qiniso Mabaso. My student number is 221060504. I am a student teacher. So I was doing my teaching practice at Nkonka High School, a school that is well known for its well performance in education. But the problem about Nkonka High School is that when I was doing my teaching experience, it had no full equipment. The equipment lacked. So children had to share one textbook per desk. The classes were overcrowded in such a way that learners had to sit in threes in the desks. So in that school, I was doing social sciences and history and English. It was social sciences in grade 8 and English in grade 9. So in grade 8, I did SS history in the section of Scramble for Africa. Learners were very vigilant. They answered questions that I asked, and they were perfect learners. So in class, when I went in, I put on this chart. As you can see, this is the chart that I was using in class. It was saying the Scramble of Africa. So when I came in the class, I asked the learners this: what is the Scramble of Africa? Or when I'm saying the Scramble of Africa, what comes to your mind? The learners told me that when you are saying Scramble of Africa, it means that the mixture of Africa. Africa is mixed up. Then I said yes. And I asked some few questions about the Scramble of Africa and the colonization. Questions like, who colonized Africa? Why was Africa colonized? Why did the European manage to colonize Africa so easily? The learners answered questions, and some of the questions were unable to be answered because they were too hard for them. That's where I used the teacher-centered approach. I explained the material to them so that they can understand. By the teacher-centered approach, I am the one as a teacher who is explaining the material to the learners. And the learners were answering questions that I was asking, which is the learner-centered approach. We were discussing as the class. Then after this, in my chart, I had the map of Africa. After colonization, the map of Africa is divided into countries like South Africa, Angola, Nigeria, and all the other countries. Remember that before colonization, Africa had no borders. Africa was just the land with no borders but kingdoms. Then colonization took place. Then one learner raised his hand, then asked me, what was colonization? I told him that colonization, it is when the country takes over another country for its own benefits. Then the learner was satisfied with the answer that I gave him. Then I explained the concept colonization. Then I gave some examples, like that British Empire colonized South Africa. So the learners were able to understand what I was trying to explain to them. Then after that, I told them that in order for Africa to be colonized by many countries, which are European countries, they held a British Berlin Conference. I had the picture of a Berlin Conference in the charts so we can talk about something that they saw. So those were the strategies I used to explain the material to them. After that, to check if the learners' knowledge was, or they did have the knowledge that I told them, I took out the worksheets and I gave them the worksheets so they can answer. They answered the worksheets, then I marked them. I saw that there were learners who were still lacking. So in order for all the learners to understand the material, I told them to form groups of learners that understand the material and the learners that don't understand well the material. I formed them into groups and I told them to discuss and make a list of words and concepts that they didn't understand. They made them and discussed them and they presented it in front of the class as the group work. They presented their work. That strategy helped the teacher, me, to help them to understand the material. They understood very well. They were able to answer questions when I left the class. Thank you.